What is up, everybody? This is Matthew Betz, co-host of the Red Shirts Fantasy Football Podcast, injury analyst for the fantasy footballers, and we are here today to talk about Jerry Jeudy, the wide receiver out of Alabama. There was a tweet coming out today from Ian Rappaport of NFL Network, basically describing that some teams had a little bit of concern regarding Jeudy's knee, and a very detailed description from his surgeon, actually, as to what was going on with the knee back at Alabama. So I'm here to break it down for you guys, give you a short-term and a long-term outlook for Jeudy, and talk about what it means here for fantasy football. So let's break down essentially what happened there with Jerry Jeudy. Back in 2018, he had a twisting injury in the knee, causing a tear to the lateral meniscus inside the knee joint. And what you'll see here on screen is that basically the knee joint is made up of an inside portion here, which you'll describe as medial, which is towards the midline, lateral towards the outside. And you have two meniscus here. The medial meniscus is probably more commonly injured, lateral not as much. But essentially what happens is when this structure is torn, it can cause a bit of irritation inside the knee joint. It can cause pain, can cause swelling, things of that nature. If the tear is big enough and the tear is in a location where it's easy to be accessed, the surgeon will go in and actually repair that tissue, and it takes a very, very long time to recover, upwards of about 9 months, potentially even longer. And it's a big time recovery. But in Jeudy's case, they saw a small piece of the tear, went in with the surgery, and took out those little pieces that were torn, stitched it back up, and then let him recover right after that. Typical recovery for this is about 4 to 6 weeks before an athlete is back on the field. For your reference, DK Metcalf had the same surgery done in August of last year and was ready to go for the first week of the season in the regular season last year. So short-term recovery, there is not a ton to worry about here with Jerry Jeudy. I'm here to kind of ease everyone's concerns regarding the surgery that was done from 2018, and really talk about the small risk that is associated with this. Again, short-term, Jerry Jeudy is going to be fine, and we're going to see him in tomorrow's NFL draft be taken inside the top 15 picks for a reason. Now, long-term, is there an increased risk of him developing some arthritis in the knee? Yes, there is. Compared to someone else who hasn't had this injury, who hasn't had this procedure, he has at an increased risk relative to other players. Now, there's several other factors that can determine whether or not he develops that arthritis. One is future injury. One is other injuries that might develop over the course of time, et cetera, et cetera. But for dynasty purposes, if you're looking at 5, 6, 7, even 8 years, this is a non-issue for Jerry Jeudy. He's going to be completely fine. If we're talking 10 to 12 years, yeah, potentially there could be some arthritis that develops in there. So if you play Dynasty the way I do, which is about a 3-year window, there really isn't any concern here with Jerry Jeudy. I think he is going to be a stud in the NFL. I think he's going to be excelling at the next level. Health is not a concern from me.